Well, here we go again. Roll the thing. Hey guys, Sean here. So don't worry, this isn't another rambling in the car while driving video like last week. I don't see many of those ever happening, only in desperate situations. What is happening now is I am driving to Wondercon, which is the first convention of the year. It is being held once again at the Anaheim Convention Center like every year, and I am a little later leaving than I had initially intended. In fact, the first panel that I wanted to go to is happening in 5 minutes, and I am still deep in Long Beach, so that's probably not going to happen. I am planning on going today and tomorrow, so hopefully tomorrow I get there at the time that I want to, because the panel that I want to go to most at WonderCon is happening at 11:30 in the morning. I think I do need to stop somewhere and get cash, because I believe the parking structure at the Anaheim Convention Center takes cash. Although the fact that I'm getting this late of a start means that the parking structure will most likely be full and I won't be able to park in it anyway. So we'll see what happens there. I believe last time I went to WonderCon, I just ended up parking at Disneyland and walking over. But it's better than the usual alternate parking that they have for conventions at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is the Anaheim Angels baseball stadium parking, and then you take a shuttle over, which is like 2 miles away. Plus, I kind of plan on, after the convention, going to Disneyland anyway, so I might as well park there if needed. All right, so I will see you on the other side of the drive. So I ended up parking at Disneyland. You can actually see there's the Lego store right there from downtown Disney. I am now walking over to the Anaheim Convention Center. It's about a mile. They were rerouting traffic to the Honda Center, which is where the Anaheim Ducks play, which is actually further than the Angels Stadium. It is less than an hour away from the second panel that I wanted to go to, so hopefully I make it there in time. All right, I gotta concentrate on not dying. So I finally made it into the convention center. I am sitting across from the room, I guess you would call it. It's like a ballroom that has a bunch of chairs set up in it and a table at the front for the first panel that I'm going to go to, which, let me look up what it's called exactly. It is the Women of Pop Culture panel. And it's just gonna have a bunch of women from Nerdist and Geek and Sundry on it, so that's gonna be good. That should go from 2 to 3, and then at 4:45 in the arena, which is like a huge room that they have here, there is going to be a Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel from 4:45 to 6 p.m., and that is like what I'm most looking forward to today. I just realized I'm using my phone to record the sound, but I was also just using my phone to look up all that information, so I was probably covering up the microphone as I was doing it, so this will be fun. Anyway, at some point, I'm sure I'll actually walk around the floor once I figure out where that is. But for now, I think I'm just going to head into the panel that's happening in the room right now, so that I'm already in there. I really just needed to sit down for a few minutes. All right, to the next thing. So that panel was amazing. There was a lot of my favorite women from Nerdist and Geek and Sundry on it, and afterwards I got to meet Rachel Hine, who is the editor-in-chief of Nerdist and Geek and Sundry, and also Jessica Chobot, who I've met before, I think last year at WonderCon, or at least one of the cons when I met her and her husband for the first time there, Herder. Well, and I had met her once before that too. I'd met Rachel Hine before as well. And then also I got to meet Erica Ishii, who is one of the contributors to all things Geek and Sundry, and I've always wanted to meet her because she is just like a ball of positivity, and I told her that, and it was nice to actually be able to tell her that for once. And then I got to meet Trisha Hirschberger, who wasn't on that panel but also contributes to Geek and Sundry and stuff, and she is also just a huge ball of positivity. And so that was really great. I really enjoyed being able to meet all of them and tell them all just how wonderful I think they all are. And that's what WonderCon means to me, is I get to meet amazing people and tell them how wonderful I think they are. Anyway, it's 3:17. That means that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel is in roughly about an hour and 30 minutes. And so I will have to go get in line for that at some point. But in the meantime, I should probably actually go to the convention itself for once while I'm here. Seems like a good idea. I'm now realizing that when I stepped into the hall, I didn't adjust the white balance, so I should probably do that now. That's better. So the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel was fantastic. They showed the end of next week's episode, which was a little weird, and it did spoil a bit of what happened in this previous week's episode, which, as I stated earlier, I had not seen yet, so that was a miscalculation. After that, I walked around the floor a little bit. I bought some things that I will show you a little later in the video, and then I have just kind of been walking around trying to find someone very specific, but I doubt I'm going to be able to find them, so hopefully they're here tomorrow and I will be able to find them then. And now I'm just sitting here watching as people are leaving, checking out the amazing costumes that everyone is wearing. Well, the battery in my camera died, and I thought I had brought the backup batteries with me, but I cannot seem to find them in my bag right now, so I have switched over to my iPhone. As I was saying, I'm just sitting here watching the people leave in their amazing, amazing costumes. One of these days I will get up the nerve to actually ask people if I can film them in their costumes, but that is not today. As for now, that's going to do it for today. I am now going to be going back over to the Disneyland parking lot, dropping off my bag, and going into Disneyland for what will be a separate video. But that is not the end of this video, as I am going to be coming back tomorrow. So let's go ahead and cut to tomorrow, hopefully morning. And hopefully I'm here in time for the panel I want to see at 11:30. So let's go. So it is day 2 of Wondercon, and I've actually done quite a bit this morning so far. It's just that I haven't had a chance to stop and actually record anything yet. I was in a bit of a rush this morning because I was trying to get here by 11:30, and of course that wasn't going to happen because I'm terrible when it comes to getting places early in the morning. 11:30 is early in the morning now, apparently, I guess. That doesn't bode well for me. So of course when I got here, there wasn't any parking, because of course there wasn't going to be any parking, because if it's not VidCon, then there's not going to be parking at the Anaheim Convention Center. And the only reason there's parking during VidCon is because majority of the people at VidCon can't drive cars, so they get dropped off by their parents. So someone yesterday told me that I should try parking in the Toy Story parking lot at Disneyland, which is across the street from the Anaheim Convention Center. So I went ahead and tried that. However, it did take like 20 minutes to get into that parking lot. Luckily, unlike the downtown Disney parking, my annual pass did actually work for it, so that was good. And it was much closer to walk across the street than to walk from the Mickey and Friends parking structure. However, as a result of all that, I did end up getting to the first panel that I wanted to go to about 10 minutes into it starting. But luckily, that panel is going to be broadcast on Tuesday on Twitch, so I'll be able to watch the first 10 minutes that I missed. Now, what was that panel? That panel was for Critical Role. Now, what is Critical Role? Well, just keep an eye out on this channel, and eventually I will have a pretty substantial video about Critical Role. You know how I keep saying that there's a video that I want to make that I'm doing research on that I haven't finished the research on yet? That's the one. It might actually end up being 2 videos, because I think I might have to do a separate video just to set everything up to then talk about Critical Role. Then after that, I went to another panel which was all about the X-Men 90s animated series, and that was very interesting. And that's pretty much all the panels that I wanted to go to at WonderCon. So from this point until I leave, it's just walking the floor and seeing things that there are to see. Now, normally when I walk around conventions like this, I do a sped up footage sort of montage type thing. But this time, I think I'm going to try and just actually find things to shoot video of. So let's go ahead, head back down to the floor, and we will see if we can find stuff that is interesting to film. So this is the Batman the Animated Series DC Collectibles line Harley Quinn Expressions Pack. I actually have all of the figures, well, not just all of it, just everything in this line. And it looks like this comes out in August of 2018. Hey, my birthday is in August. I see that on the other side there they have the Joker, so let me go to the other side. And here we have the Joker, and as you can see it says in stores now, which, yes, I actually did get this one just the other day when I was at the comic shop.
What's that? No, I think
It is funny, so this is what, my 7th convention that I've covered since starting to make videos, and I've realized that I am not good at it. I just don't really know what to get footage of. I did end up calling a bit of an audible, because when I walked back into the convention from the previous clips where I was outside on the balcony, I did see that they were doing a blood drive. Now, in the last few months, well, it was like 4 months ago probably, they were doing a blood drive at the office building that I work at, and I ended up going in there because I wanted to find out what my blood type is, because for whatever reason my doctor is not allowed to tell me what my blood type is, which I find almost illegal. So anyway, I went and I donated blood in that blood drive, and I ended up finding out that my blood type is O negative, which is the universal donor. So I realized from that point forward that if I ever saw an opportunity for giving blood, that I probably should, because my blood type is the most desired. Then I went down to the floor, walked around a little bit, and didn't really see too much interesting. And the convention is closing in 30 minutes, so I think I'm gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna head on over to Disneyland. So let's cut to the guy in the studio to wrap things up. Man, I can't tell you how relieved I am that field reporter Sean handled everything this week, so I don't actually have to do anything. That's so... Wait, what? He sent it back to me. Okay, what has he forgotten? He hasn't shown what was purchased, and he didn't do the convention board. Okay. So I guess I'm doing those things. So first off, I got this pin here from Fanflare, and it is of the poison that was intended to poison Cusco in The Emperor's New Groove, which is why I have it on my Disney Pass lanyard right below Kronk here, since he is the one who was tasked with poisoning Cusco. And so this isn't like an officially licensed Disney pin. I guess it's technically a bootleg now that I'm thinking about it, and maybe I shouldn't have actually purchased it, but huh. Interesting. Anyway, here it is on my lanyard. In all honesty, I probably need to go ahead and take all the pins that I have on my lanyard here off, because this lanyard now weighs like 5 pounds more. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but it is substantially more heavy with all the pins on it, and it's probably not good for my neck when walking around Disneyland with this around it. Next up, I've recently been playing a tabletop RPG type game called Battle Stations at work every Wednesday, and all of the rolling mechanics require D6s, and our GM supplied a whole bunch of like D6s that he had lying around, and I don't like them at all. So I went to a dice booth at Wondercon and ended up getting my own D6s to use for the game. As you can see here, they're blue and kind of cool looking, and the 6 is an emblem instead of the 6. And then I also got some red and black ones as well, and there's the symbol for the 6. And I got about 10 of them because you never know how many you're gonna need. And so, they weren't expensive, so it was just something. I wanted my own dice for when we play the game every Wednesday. And of course, this past week we didn't play because the GM was out of town, and then this upcoming week we won't be playing because another one of our players will be out of town, so I will not have a chance to actually use these until like another 2 weeks from now. But when I do, oh, look out, because I'm going to be rolling some dice. And the last thing I got was this hardbound collection of Green Valley, which is a comic series that was written by Max Landis, who is the son of famous movie director John Landis. And it was recommended by Kinda Funny on one of their morning shows, and it was their required reading for the week when they used to do comic shows. Well, they now do separate comic shows from the morning show. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But they recommended reading this, and I couldn't find a copy of it at the comic shop I always go to, but when I was walking by the IDW booth, who makes this, well, actually it looks like Image makes this. No, it was the Skybound booth, that's what it was. The Skybound booth, they had this, so I went ahead and bought it, and actually I got a copy of Oblivion Song number 1 for free, which is a new comic that just came out this month by Robert Kirkman, who is the creator of The Walking Dead. So I didn't know that he had a new comic coming out this month, but they gave me a free issue number 1 of it. And that's it for what I purchased. And an interesting thing about WonderCon this year, so I was able to register to San Diego Comic-Con as a professional this year, which means I get into San Diego Comic-Con for free. And an interesting side effect of that is, since San Diego Comic-Con and WonderCon are run by the same company, I was also able to get into WonderCon for free. So as you see here on my badge, it says professional because I am considered a professional. I also got this ribbon and this pin for donating blood, as mentioned earlier. So overall, WonderCon was a great experience. It was very exhausting, but that is probably because of going to Disneyland afterwards each day. That probably wasn't the smartest move for someone of my advanced age. Okay, it's not that advanced of an age, but still. It's not so much advanced age as horrible shape. But as has become tradition on this channel, and by tradition I mean I did it last year, so I'm gonna do it again this year, I have made a board to keep track of all the people that I meet at conventions this year. Currently, There are only 6 planned for this year. That would be Wondercon, San Diego Comic-Con, E3, VidCon, LA Comic-Con, and Kamikaze. That's it. Of course, San Diego Comic-Con taking the place of TwitchCon this year, because TwitchCon is going to be in San Jose. I'm probably not going to go to that. So let's go ahead and add the 4 wonderful geek women that I talked to at WonderCon this year to the board. That is Rachel Hine, Jessica Chobot, Erica Ishii, and Trisha Hirschberger. To this day, that is my favorite sound effect that I have on this channel. Although, to be fair, I think it might be the only sound effect I have on this channel. So hopefully when I go to San Diego Comic-Con, I will be better at shooting actual things around the floor and not doing the walk around montage, because I think this is the last video where I'm going to do that. But all in all, I had an amazing time at WonderCon, and I can't wait to go again next year. And I can't wait to go to the other 5 conventions this year that I'm going to. So did you go to WonderCon this year? Let me know down in the comments below what you liked about WonderCon, what you maybe didn't like about WonderCon, what you purchased that made you really happy, what panel you saw that was really interesting that you would recommend going to if said panel should appear at another convention at some point. And while you're there, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more of the crazy crap that goes on around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to help support the crazy crap that goes on around here, go ahead and hit up my Patreon. And with that, have a good however long it is until you watch my next video.